So I live in Washington, D.C., and I work on climate and democracy things in addition to being a musician and songwriter. And I've had a front row seat to the wild stuff that has been happening these past couple weeks. So I wanted to share my perspective on understanding what is happening and how good people of conscience can show up to this moment. In the immediate term, I have been going to protests and rallies here in DC, partly for myself, but also on behalf of really caring and smart friends who, for various reasons, can't make it. So if you see an event that you want to be counted at, but you can't be here, send the information to me, and if I can make it, I will go. Now I want to talk about the bigger picture and some of the deeper things that I think are at work here. Basically, we have not had a political majority in this country for decades now. Whatever you believe, whatever your priorities are, and what you desperately want to see advanced or protected or dismantled, you are outnumbered right now. But interestingly, that's also true of people all over the political spectrum. There has not been coalescing into a broad coalition that has enough of a mandate to durably enact its agenda. And what you get is then these cycles of minorities winning by very narrow margins and then trying to ram through their agenda before the other party can get its act together to grind the gears to a halt. And then people get fed up with that, and so it flips, and then they basically just like switch roles. And what we're seeing right now is maybe the most egregious and scary example of where that leads. There have been increases in executive orders and trying to achieve things through the executive branch for quite some time now. And basically now it is culminated in this noisy act of desperation. To me, what that means is that the work for someone like me is to figure out how do we actually build a durable majority where we actually agree on what needs to be done, and we can actually provide politicians with the cover to do that, to actually enact that majority agenda. Now, obviously, easier said than done, right? Basically, it's been the goal of every political strategist ever to try to build a durable majority and mandate. But I do think it's really important for people like me to embrace the fact that we're outnumbered and to really understand that we can hold two truths in our head at the same time, that it is necessary to band together with like-minded people and resist the things that we find dangerous and unacceptable. But at the same time, we have to look at who could join us, who is not with us today. Who do we feel like is persuadable to the things that we care about? And who could we be persuaded to join forces on their priorities and what they want to see happen? Where do we disagree and are willing to remain in disagreement rather than feeling like this is a bridge too far? And maybe most importantly, how can we trust each other? What can we do to build enough trust in each other that we feel like joining forces is the right thing to do? So that's the view for today from Washington, D.C. I also feel like so much is evolving fast right now that I'm trying to reserve the right to have strong opinions lightly held, because a lot of this may shift and evolve as all this stuff unfolds. But in the meantime, I hope that I've given you something to think about. And I hope that you're taking care of yourself. And maybe paradoxically, after you have watched this video on social media, I implore you, please treat your attention as your most precious resource. You do not have to obey the algorithm. You do not have to doom scroll. You do not have to respond constantly to interruption. You can put the phone down and you can do what matters to you and focus on it. That's it.